Let's see what type of music we can make.
Let's see what type of music we can make.
Let's see what type of music we can make. Using a toilet lid. Using a piano. Using a squeaky toy. Welcome to season 2 of SJ Sonic Brews. Let's make some sounds. Let's see what type of music we can make. Using a toilet lid. Let's import the first toilet lid sound. Crop it. Since this is our kick drum, we're going to add some low end to give it some bass. Let's export the toilet kick. Let's import the second toilet lid sound. Turn the clip volume up. Crop it. Since this is our snare sound, we're going to add some high mid to give it more bite. Let's export the toilet snare. Let's crop the kick a little more. Pitch it down and assign it to this note. Let's crop the toilet snare. Pitch it down and assign it to this note. Let's do the exact same process, except this time we're going to pitch it up so it sounds like this. Let's add some reverb. Let's put in a low pass filter so we can cut off some of that high end. Now we got a really heavy drum kit. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see what type of music we can make using a fan. Let's import the sound of the fan. Alright, good news, bad news involving this one. The good news is there is a pitch we can isolate. The bad news, there's a lot of air. So let's try and get rid of that. Let's isolate the pitch. Let's export the EQ'd fan. Import the new file. Do the exact same thing we did for the first one. Export that file. So now that we EQ'd the fan twice, now the pitch is isolated enough that my software can pick it up. Let's crop the file and set the root key. Let's add some reverb. We're going to use an amp to boost up the low end and completely cut off the highs. This sort of reminds me of the sound we made with the garage door. Let's see what type of music we can make. Using a razor. Let's import the razor. We're picking up some of the pitch, but let's isolate it some more. Let's isolate the frequency. Let's export the EQ'd razor. Let's set the root key to G. Let's crop the sound. Let's add some distortion. Let's squash the high end so we get a lower tone. Let's add some reverb. Now we can play Metallica. Let's see what type of music we can make using a drawer. Let's import the sound of the drawer closing. Let's crop it. Let's turn the volume down. Let's export our drawer kick. Side note, I did not expect to do 14 episodes of this, and I'm starting to run out of ideas, so if you guys have any ideas of what sound you want me to use next, drop them in the comments. I hope you realize that no one's going to comment, right? Worth a shot. Let's repeat the process using the sound of the drawer opening. Let's cut off some of the lows so it sounds thinner. And now let's export that file. Let's take the drawer kick, pitch it down and assign it to this note. Let's crop the snare, pitch it down and assign it to this note. Let's add some reverb. Now it sounds like this. Let's see what type of music we can make using a deadbolt and door handle. Let's start off with the door handle. Crop it. Now let's export the door handle. Let's repeat the process with the deadbolt. Crop it. Export that file. Let's crop the deadbolt sample. Pitch it down and assign it to this note. Repeat the process with the door handle. Pitch it up and assign it to this note. Let's crop the deadbolt once more just so it's one sound. Let's add some reverb. Let's turn the volume down. This jazz kit really takes you back to a simpler time. Let's see what type of music we can make using a squeaky toy. Let's import the squeaky toy. Let's crop the file. Since we can see the pitch on our graph here, we can just easily fix it. Let's cut off the high end a little bit. Let's export the file. Let's set the root key to G. Let's crop the sample. Let's turn up our volume. Let's add some reverb. Let's run this sound through an amp and turn up just the bass. Now we got a bass guitar. Let's see what type of music we can make using a plastic cup. Go dogs. Let's import the plastic cup. Let's crop the file. Let's go ahead and export the cropped file. Side note, if there's a sound you want me to try and make music out of, let me know in the comments. Let's make our kick all low end. Let's turn our volume up. Now let's export that file. Let's assign that to this note. Now let's turn the volume down on the regular cup sound. Let's add some reverb. And now we got a rock kit. Let's see what type of music we can make using a piano. Let's import the piano. Crop it. Let's isolate the low frequencies. Let's add an amp to isolate the bass. Now that we added an amp, we can adjust the frequencies some more. Let's add some distortion. Now let's export the file. I originally was intending to make a bass sound out of a piano, but after hearing the distortion, I feel like a distorted guitar overall is going to sound better. Also, if you like the series, want me to keep going, want a sound you want me to make, leave them in the comments. Let's crop the sample. Let's run it through another amp just to boost the sound. It's an electric guitar, you can't not run it through an amp. Let's add some reverb. And now we got a smooth rock and roll style guitar. Let's see what type of music we can make using a cat's meow. Let's import the meow. Let's turn the volume down. Let's cut the clip so we can try and get one note. Let's auto-tune the meow. I gotta say, auto-tuning a cat's probably one of the weirdest things I've ever done. If you have a suggestion of a sound you want me to create, leave them in the comments. Let's export the file. Let's set the root key to D sharp. Let's add some distortion. This kind of sounds like an ancient lyre.
Let's see what type of music we can make using a light switch.
Let's import the light switch sounds. Let's cut the clips to remove the space. So now we have our samples right next to each other. Let's add a new audio track. Let's put the second light switch sample on that track. Crop them again. For the first light switch sound, let's make it all low end. It's kind of like my voice in the mornings, nothing but low end. Let's isolate the middle frequencies for our second light switch sound. Let's export the first file. Let's export the second file. Let's crop the kick. Pitch it down and assign it to this note. Repeat the process with the snare sound and assign it to this note. I'm starting to feel like the more you mess around with beats and drums, the similar everything sounds. Yeah, kind of like your intros. Hey, I recorded it in the morning when my voice is uncharacteristically deep, so at least it's a little different. Let's add some reverb. And now I got a wood block.